bros. Sorry about that. I get these cough fits on me, bros. I mean, it's no excuse. I lost it for them, you know. It's just one of those things that is, you know. I mean, and say whatever and however about it, but at the end of the day, it's the truth. Well, crap. I mean, okay. I mean, there we go, bros. Now, we can get going here, and okay, now, I'm not sure 100 per here on this deal. My dudes, I wish, but I mean, we're not. And, you know, we I've went through this and went through this, dudes, and I mean, I'll get mad and say I'm gonna quit playing it. I'm gonna slow down on it some, to not lie, and I keep saying that.
Action stations.
Let's just, I'm with you fellers.
Awaiting instructions.
I mean, it's one of them deals where I'd like to get the oh my goodness, got something. And I'll say about it, you know. It's end of the day, we just want the ship, dude. I mean, so we'll get what we can. I'm definitely going to get it this time. I mean, there's 2 ships to be got out of it. We done got one. We're on the other one. We got a couple more, and we can switch over to the test server later and try to. But whether we play the test server or not really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we need the ship.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon. Enemy battleship detected.
infantry, huh? I mean, that's my philosophy about it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just going to be what it is. So, I'll come up and help you, man. Marco Polo Hobo.
Main turret critically damaged.
Yes. I'm wasting my shots, bro.
Problem solved, sir. All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Come on, baby. We got this, man. I mean, honestly, we have. I think we have anyway, you know. Chug-a-lugga, baby. Chug-a-lugga.
Enemy battleship sunk. Attention, reporting the target position. The ship is on fire. Enemy battleship destroyed. Problem solved, sir.
It's all good, bro. It's all good.
Main turret critically damaged.
Come on, girl. Put him in the water, put him in. He's going to ram us.
Enemy battleship destroyed. All stations, concentrate fire on the target. Acknowledged.
Uh-oh. Oh, come on, girl. Here's my way. You rolling junk. Sorry, bro. What you holding her, bro? What did you say? Thanks, man. And we got this, bro, I hope. I mean, if we lose, we lose, but, I mean, I feel that we give a good fight. I think we give a really good fight, bro. He's gonna take him out, bro. It's not his fault, though. I mean, I don't. Let him take him, bro. Don't let him take you out, man. Get him to burning, you know.
The enemy is about to win.
So they say. Yeah, he's got him, bro. replace some operations. You know. One gun's loading quick on that Duncan. Yeah, it's all good, dudes. I mean, it's yeah, GG, bro. Another million, man. We had a million every downer on them credits. This will be the first Tier 9 cruiser I have if we get it. If we get it, that is. Yeah, that's good. We got our last one here, so. But if we get it, that'll be the first Tier 9 cruiser we got. Of premium that is, you know. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is on that deal, man. I mean, it is. Okay, let's see here. We got 4 festive rewards. We're down to, we're about out of ships, bro. Okay, we got one, the Tiger. Okay, we still got one more, I guess, the Tiger. Let's go ahead and take it. That'd be it. That's everything we can get there on that, you know. That's, let's see. Well, hopefully we can get it in blues, sure. We can. Or greens, rather. We can get it in greens. I'm not going to sit and gripe it, man. I mean, that's worked out really to my advantage really good. That's really, really good. We got an hour and a half for that. So, but, what we got here? Let's see. We have been on the, where's that goes about that. I mean, we could let it reset. I guess you get those up until whatever on them. Let's see what we're needing here, bros. Cause the main dab and secondaries. And then we got 700,000 we still need. Yeah. My goodness, man. I mean, we shouldn't be using these on that. Nor these either. We can cut back and save those goes for which operations is pretty good, bro. I mean, we could definitely be using the Captain XP because, I'm more wanting to, I don't want to buy no more ships right now, dudes. I'm not going to lie about it. There's no need right now. I have too many ships that need work. That honestly need way too much work. I mean, we could probably finish this line, or we could go for the Sonoma, maybe, and go for another super ship. But I mean, as far as this goes, it's one of those deals, dudes. Let's just let's see here. We got this out of 10. We got the Hanover here. Let's didn't even know we could play that in operations, but I guess we can. Recolor a captain here. Now let's see here. I don't think we got enough. I guess we can. I'd put us up to 2. Nothing we could put into it, really. I mean, well, we could put 1 into that. That's going to give us we could, had to give us what, give us more, of those. So now we need 2. The last few we need is going to be, let's see, that'd be 6. That'd be 21, so we need adrenaline shot and a repair party. Either or on that one. Okay, now let's just go back to the Palmer and see. This one's not set up for this. It's truly not. But, in all honesty, it's set up same as the Hanover. But this one goes on the Chevron. So, yeah. Either or, we're just going to play. Just going to play, dudes. That way we can be able to, we should be fairly good. Yeah, yeah.
Attention Task Force Commander. Escort the support ship and floating workshop to the carrier.
Yeah, okay.
Attention Engineer. Restore the carrier to operational condition. Attention Arsenal and Aviator. Deliver ammunition and resupply the Rutgers air crew.
Alright. So we should be fairly good shape here, maybe. Possibly.
Stations. Quick defeat of enemy forces is key to success.
Well, we'd hope so, you know. Let's see here, bros. Just wanting to get a little bit of something here. Yeah, you know, we don't care. Just some news, you know, a little bit local. Oh.
And finally agreed to ban Peter Daszak and E013S02.
All right. Now.
After watching prosecutors exploit his family's pain during the Delaware trial and realizing that they were planning to do it again here in California, Hunter decided to enter his plea
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
to protect those he loves from unnecessary hurt and humiliation. This plea prevents that kind of show trial that would have not provided all the facts or served any real point in justice.
That was Hunter Biden's attorney, Abby Lowell, yesterday talking about the first son's surprise guilty plea to all 9 federal tax charges brought against him by special counsel David Wise. Now, the decision coming hours after jury selection was supposed to begin. Hunter saying in his own statement last night, quote, "I will not subject my family to more pain, more invasions of privacy, and needless embarrassment. For all I have put them through over the years, I can spare them this, and so I have decided to plead guilty." The judge scheduled sentencing for December 16th. Hunter faces a maximum of 17 years in prison, a fine of up to $1.3 million. Now, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre was asked about whether or not the president plans to pardon his son on his way out of office. Watch this.
I can say that it is still very much a no to the questions that I've gotten about if the president's going to pardon. But I don't have anything else to add.
Can you comment on whether a commutation would be on or off the table?
That's also no.
Okay, joining me now, former federal prosecutor and constitutional law attorney Andrew Cherkasky. First off, your reaction to the surprise move by Hunter yesterday. Apparently, the prosecution was taken off guard.
Well, we knew that the Hunter Biden tax trial was going to have fireworks. We didn't know they were going to come this early. So we had expected it was going to be weeks and weeks of testimony, much like we saw in the gun case, where not only was Hunter Biden terribly embarrassed by the evidence, but his entire family was. So when he walked in yesterday and said that he was changing his plea, it was a surprise. But to the extent that he has any hubris at all, it is no surprise. There was no case there. There was no defense to be had. He had been talking about the idea that his drug and alcohol abuse somehow should have forgiven the offense. And even after he pled guilty, we still saw his attorney making statements outside the courthouse blaming this on the drugs and alcohol. That has nothing to do with whether you filed your taxes on time, or whether you reported to the IRS that there are business expenses that were clearly not.
Because when he came out of treatment, he could have begun the process with the IRS. Believe me, if you owe the money to the IRS, they will work with you to get their money. They have no problem with that. So, do you think he goes to jail?
He will go to jail. I think when you calculate both the gun case, which may not get a jail sentence, but that combined with the tax case, he will undoubtedly get a jail sentence of some sort. Now, the timing is very interesting because by pleading guilty now, that puts the sentencing in December. Had he fought this, that could have been past the inauguration. with it in December, that gives Joe Biden the ability not only to pardon him, but once he's sentenced, Joe Biden could commute the sentence. And that's kind of in the sweet spot as a total lame duck. I know he said what he said, and his press secretary has denied that there would be a pardon or otherwise, but there's nothing binding him to that, and he's changed his mind plenty of times before as well.
So you think it's still a possibility? That's interesting.
I think it's a high likelihood.
Well, let's talk. There's a lot of legal issues going on with.
I think it's a high likelihood he'll pardon him.
Pleading not guilty yesterday to charges from special counsel Jack Smith's new indictment in the January 6th case after the Supreme Court's immunity ruling. The district judge in that case, Tanya Chutkan, also said yesterday she would not hold the trial before the election, but she's allowing for new evidence to be released before November 5th. And Chutkan says that she's, quote, not concerned with the electoral schedule. So she's given a September 26th deadline for prosecutors to lay out how they intend to solve the case, and gives the Trump team until October 17th to respond. Trump's lawyers argue the case should not be in the spotlight, obviously, in the run-up to the election.
It shouldn't be, but they're going to do it anyway.
New evidence, do you think, if any, that the prosecution may have that could be damaging to the president?
I don't think there's much in the way of new evidence. This is a matter that I think the American people have fully heard about. This is all about January 6th. We had the congressional hearings on that. The media has dragged that story, I think, on for 4 years at this point. We all know what happened. We know what Donald Trump said and what he didn't say. We know what others did and didn't do. This is a case that's purely about the law. It's about whether Donald Trump has a certain degree of immunity and whether the idea that the president who was speaking to a large group of people should be held responsible for some of those folks who became unruly and violated the law themselves. So it comes back down, I think, to many.
What the Supreme Court said about that, brother.
Going to try to sort through ahead of the election. A lot of that's going to get lost in the details of that.
Supreme Court ruled on that. They said as long as they did not
This evidence of enter would be
destroy any kind of documents or anything of that matter.
That evidence that's going to come forward. Again, I don't think anything's going to be new. I think the big concern
that they committed no crime whatsoever. Period.
All the evidence has to be previewed to the judge before she can decide what is within the gambit of permissible and what is actually immune from being used at trial.
That's interesting. So I do want to ask you about this. America First Legal is suing New York State Supreme Court Judge Juan Merchan, who presided, of course, over Trump's New York fraud trial, where he's accused to over his financial disclosures after questions about his daughter's work at a Democratic firm. So under New York law, judges are required to file annual financial disclosures, and they're also required to make them available upon request. So America First Legal sent a letter demanding Merchan's disclosures last week after previously requesting them back in June. He didn't respond, Andrew. What do we expect now?
Well, Judge Merchan has been under the gun to recuse himself from this case from the beginning, not only because of his own affiliations, but that of his daughter as well. This is one more step of legal action that demonstrates that he has serious issues in this case. There are concerns that are raised by him being on this case, and the decision, the verdict ultimately, I think, depended heavily on the fact that Judge Merchan allowed in a lot of evidence, allowed the case to go in a certain way that turned into kind of a circus, a sideshow, when it was just a really basic case all along. So there's lots of issues with him. That is a huge issue on appeal. I don't think there's anything that's going to happen in the short term, but that's Judge Merchan for you.
Yeah, and former President Trump is going to be actually in court with the E. Jean Carroll case as well. So a lot of cases to follow. Andrew, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
It's always great to have you on set, especially.
So the E. Jean Carroll case is not over, bro. That should have never went to trial.
5-minute rule with questions.
And they know it, man. And all this is coming back in the pills.
One of the obvious and most frightening aspects of this open border is
So this is not not panning out the way they want it, but they're getting caught up into the lawfare.
Cartels are already trying to sink roots into your community. Could you go a little bit more into the details of what you're doing?
Yes, sir. What's interesting is that the cartels have actually infiltrated within
California, even within agricultural businesses and businesses up and down the state of California. They are very smart, very good at what they do. They're businessmen. They're also very dangerous and violent, and they lead by intimidation and fear. In our county alone, the cartel that we dismantled was a Sinaloa cartel.
The ship is on fire!
The DEA is, of the 50 people we arrested, the DEA is still hunting down the primary suspect who actually lives in Sinaloa, Mexico. During the course of this investigation, we did learn that homicides had taken place up and down the state, as well as in the central San Joaquin Valley. Did you say that one suspect was responsible for 25 murders? Yes, sir. So in another case...
This is what you're seeing in California today in real time.
Real time. We have a man who was an assassin working for the cartel. And this man admitted to over 25 different assassinations that took place at the direction of the cartel. He was discovered after he had committed a homicide and accidentally had left a receipt from a gas station, and we caught him on video and was able to speak with him, and during the course of the investigation admitted to those. But what he also admitted is that he was responsible for a certain area of California, and there were many other assassins assigned by cartels in California, throughout California, that were responsible for those areas.
So this is going on all over the state, presumably, all over every state. Are you hearing from other sheriffs about these issues?
I am.
And what are they saying?
They're saying much of the same thing. You know, Sheriff Lamb is a good friend of mine out of Arizona, who he and I speak pretty regularly. Much of what I speak of in regards to California, the violence as well as the human trafficking, it's mirrored in other states all throughout the United States.
Arrive into this country deeply indebted to the Mexican cartels that do actually control the border. How do the cartels enforce these debts on the other migrants?
Enforce on the other who?
On the other migrants.
What's happening in our communities, we're seeing people who have come into the United States on work visas and or victim visas, where they're living in these small migrant farming towns. The cartel wants to control these migrant towns and truly lead the same way that they are in other countries, specifically in Mexico.
So the violence we're seeing in Mexico is already here and is in the process of getting deeply rooted into our...
The ship is on fire!
It's already rooted.
Autopilot mode disabled.
What impact would you say sanctuary policies are having on this phenomenon, as well as the Democrats' no-cash bail bonds?
Well, I can speak to California. As you are aware, Senate Bill 54 made California a sanctuary state. Here's some of the problems that we're facing. Every sheriff in the state of California in times past used to be able to ask immigration status of those who are arrested and coming through our jails. That no longer is in existence. Sheriffs and law enforcement are no longer allowed under Senate Bill 54, supported by Kamala Harris at the time, spearheading much of that Senate Bill 54 with Sacramento Democrats.
So when the Democrats tell us, well, there's no real evidence that illegal migrants cause more crimes, you're not even allowed to ask if they're illegal migrants.
Well, and that's part of the formula. If I'm not able to ask, then there's no data to support. And so we are leading the town in California from asking someone their immigration status.
The New York Post reported that NYPD officers were estimating that 75% of the crimes they're arresting in Manhattan are committed by illegal migrants. Can you give us a rough estimate, just from your experience, what you think is going on?
I'd have to give you experience and opinion because the data doesn't allow me to collect it through the formula.
Right, but what's your estimate?
But what I can tell you is that the crimes that we're seeing based on our investigations, we're well over 50%.
I see my time's expired. Thank you.
Gentlemen, yield back. The gentleman from Maryland record.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My staff prepared a speech for you today. I'm going to set that aside and just speak to the witnesses today who are survivors. And I want to say that I certainly offer my condolences. My heart goes out to you. I do want to say this too, though, a slight departure from the script that these hearings typically take. I'm a former prosecutor. I spent 4 years as a prosecutor here in Washington, D.C. From the height of the crack wars, we averaged about 450 to 500 murders here per year. And then a short time after that, I became the state's attorney in Prince George's County, Maryland. Ms. Moore and Ms. Nobles, I think you're both from Maryland. And I think the people that handled your cases were state's attorneys as well. And one of the things I found, I got there in office in 2002. I didn't realize it when I was running, but there was a gang called MS-13 that had come to the district.
Let's give them a hard
Maryland
time.
and Virginia. And
that was a great
was a
battle.
highly violent gang. They are organized criminally, and they were 20 plus years ago at the time. And they commit extreme violent acts along the lines of what you're talking about. Include, I think the first case we had was they killed a witness with a golf club. It's a 14-year-old girl. They tricked her into going into a cemetery and they beat her to death in the head using a golf club. And I guess Bush was the president at the time. And, you know, we had similar kinds of issues as what we're talking about.
See how much we got.
People going and coming back.
I would hope over 1 million, but I don't think so.
They made them serve out their jail time, and then they would deport them back to El Salvador. But one of them I talked to subsequently, he'd become a witness against other members in the gang.
480.
So viewed it as a free trip home because they knew that they could come back whenever they wanted to.
300 bucks.
And that was 2003. I think one of the things I'd like to say to you all is I deeply respect taking up the mantle that you've taken up today. You're able to speak with a moral authority that politicians like me really can't. And I know you'd rather trade that in a heartbeat to get your loved ones back. And I know we can't do that today. But I'll say this as well. I've been involved in public service for a long time. In fact, that was my first boss in politics right there, John Conyers. He was the chairman of the committee last time it passed legislation on immigration, which was
We know she lied during the
Donald Trump and Kamala Harris went head-to-head
during the
in their
debate.
first and what probably will be their only debate before the November
It'll be
election.
the last one. I don't blame him.
The debate being a robust exchange of ideas and detailed insight into policy, it was a one-sided pile-on facilitated by biased ABC moderators. Sky News
It was.
Paul Murray and Rita Panahi exposed the lies that Kamala Harris was allowed to get away with during the presidential debate.
She did. She lied several times during the debate. Plus, the moderators attacked him as well.
By many for winning the
So,
debate against Donald Trump.
She didn't win.
Commentators like Sky News All-Stars Paul Murray and Rita Panahi have since come out to expose the blatant lies she repeated throughout that her supporters seem to be ignoring. Kamala Harris wheeled out the already debunked Charlottesville lie.
Remember Charlottesville.
Oh, Charlottesville.
Where there was a mob of people carrying
So she's going to now repeat the Biden lies. Again, this is such a dangerous...
Charlottesville was all Barack Obama, bros. That's no shit. It was. Obama called Charlottesville. No matter whether they want to hold up on that or not. At the end of the day, Barack Obama called Charlottesville. All Trump.
Which tried to paint Trump as a fighter of violence.
On that point,
They tried to get him. They asked him during the interview to condemn the racism, And he told him, who do you want me to condemn? And when it got down to the nitty-gritty of the situation, he condemned all white supremacists. But he said, well, they get him on it. He said, well, there's good people on both sides. Meaning in the crowds. Not like there's good white boys or Ku Klux Klan or whatever. He said they were good people on both sides, and it was a travesty that it took place. And it's in all the years, and I've watched quite a few presidential debates, I've never seen the moderators gang up on the candidates like they did Trump. I mean, they literally ganged up on him. So he really didn't have it was a disadvantage to him. I wouldn't do any more either. She wants another one. I would think she would when it was 3 people to 1. And they wasn't even calling her out on her lies, so. And several times that the moderators attacked him. Yeah, they attacked him themselves, the moderators did. And was supposed to have been biased and had nothing in neither part, but they did. And he doesn't have to do it. He proved his point. He was calm. He didn't go to name calling and stuff like they was hoping he would do. He was very presidential. I have to say, he surprised me that he had that much self-control to him. Because in all honesty, I figured they'd trigger him and cause him to go off on him. But he didn't. Yeah, they're very biased. I mean, and I don't get it why they're pushing this Marxist agenda that they're pushing. At the end of the day, that's going to come back and bite them. It really is.
There will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking.
Mexico has taken, over a period of 30 years, 34% of the automobile manufacturing business in our country. Think of it. Went to Mexico. China now is building a couple of massive plants where they're going to build the cars in Mexico and they think that they're going to sell those cars into the United States with no tax at the border. Let me tell you something to China. If you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, and you think you're going to get that, you're going to not hire Americans, and you're going to sell the cars to us. Now, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That'll be the least of it.
In another show of hypocrisy, Kamala Harris publicly blamed China for COVID-19. This comes after she slammed Trump for racism when he did
that is something she did. She did blame China for for COVID. Now, he's blamed them the whole time. Trump has. So that had some that's got some implications to it, big implications that I think when it boils back down to it, that's going to go back into the Obama administration, how they orchestrated the COVID. I wholeheartedly believe that they had no idea what they were pumping in us. And I mean us as in the world. I took 3 vaccinations myself. How many did you take? 2, 3? You've been vaccinated as many times as I have. Plus the boosters, yeah. I as well. My doctor wouldn't let me take it this time. I was going to take it. I mean, I had no problem with it about taking it, but it's my doctor don't want me to take it. He says that it could kill me. That he felt that it was too the risk was too high for the gain from it. And when your oncologist tells you not to take it, you better listen to your oncologist, you know. Me too. The first time I got vaccinated, I felt like I was dying. Oh, Lord. The second one wasn't so bad. The third one, I got it, which I was dying at that point, you know, so, I mean, and you have to take that into account. I was dying at that point. They were still trying to figure out how bad my cancer was. But, end of the day of it, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I tend to agree with them that we're at a point that things have went on that you can no longer turn a blind eye to it. Can you truly say that they knowed exactly what they were giving us? You can't. Can you say it was safe what they were giving us? No, you can't. Trump was adamant about that we be more cautious about these vaccines. And then you had the Democrats that pushed them on everybody. I mean, it was all fine and dandy. If Trump endorsed it, it was bad. If they endorsed it, it was supposed to be good. I mean, that's something we're going to have to wait for years to come to really see the results of what they did to us during COVID. I mean, and do I believe China spreaded COVID? Hell yes, I do. Do I think they made it in a lab in Wuhan, China? Absolutely, I believe that wholeheartedly that they did it. Trump said that from the start. Now they're magically admitting it, but they're the ones that used all the draconian lawfare on everybody to lock us down and to control us. That they throw people out of the military and everything else over it. But that's all we're supposed to look over that. We're supposed to look over the past 4 years of all the shit they've done to us and vote them in again. Now, the American people are not stupid. Even though they'd like to think we are, we're not. We're far from being that stupid that they've treated and did us the way they have in the past 4 years. That you had Anthony Fauci going around saying that it wasn't gain of research when it truly was, and that the Obama administration had funded it. And I'd like to have been a fly on the wall and heard the conversation when they had the G4 summit and they were talking about the world being overpopulated. I would have loved to have heard that, but that was all done behind closed doors that we'll never know the outcome of it. But we do know this, there's a damn pandemic released on the world. What about all these people that died during COVID? What about all the people that died in New York during COVID? That they found that the New York government had knowingly was sending COVID patients back to nursing homes knowing they was infected. Why wasn't the governor in New York tried and brought up on fucking murder charges? I mean, throw the election and all that shit out the door of it. Why wasn't anything done about that? That we had to watch our family members die alone in the hospital, that they wouldn't even let us see them. And you know, I know this because I was in the hospital getting stents in my heart during COVID. That's sad, man. It's truly sad that they've treated us the way they have for the past 4 years, then got enough nerve to ask us to vote for them. I mean, that is pitiful. On so many levels, that is pitiful. That they would ever even ask a person to vote for them, knowing the way they treated everyone. How they say they don't want to divide the country and stuff. Well, they count anybody that's a Republican or MAGA. MAGA, because you got right-wing views. You're a terrorist. You're a weirdo because you want good for people. I mean, you don't want to see little kids get mutilated and their body parts chopped off and shit. So, but you're a weirdo. You're the weirdo. I mean, really? Anyone that ever want to hurt a child is beyond a weirdo. They're a fucking pedophile, and I've often said I got something for a pedophile. I'm a firm believer only good pedophile's a dead pedophile. I'd rock at prison orange herb for killing a pedophile, no problem. I would, no problem. I wear that badge with honor. No, I killed the pedophile. But they try to normalize this stuff. You see UCLA, some of the biggest colleges in the United States that are absolutely promoting pedophilia. Now, and no part of any society have we ever let this become to what it is. You got these fuckers like Bill Gates and stuff openly talking about mass genocide on people because they want to kill the elderly off because we're living longer than we used to.
Torpedoes to port.
That's sad, man. Well, I won't catch two in the figures. Let's go ahead and try to catch that back real quick. It makes no sense whatsoever that what they pulled, besides exactly what It is what it is. They're trying to make the United States a communist country. It'll never happen. It will honestly never happen. And I firmly, wholeheartedly believe it will never happen. For that to happen means that the values that we've had for the last 100 years would have to be completely rewritten. The Constitution would have to be completely rewrote. And these are things that, even though they'd love to do it, they can never touch them. I mean, that's a fact about that. Even though they'd love to, they can never touch the Constitution. It's never happened. Not in this lifetime. What is wrong with the kids nowadays that they have no drive or gumption to them, that they want a life, money, want to feel the, I don't know how others felt, but I always felt really good that I know that I was making my own money and I didn't have to rely on someone, you know. I always felt really good about that it made you want to push and drive harder, you know, in life. But these people, buddy, they just won't have it. I mean, intellectually and technology, we're living in the best of times. Technology-wise, intellectually, we're in the stupidest of times. That idiots really get thought of as being great people. Einstein would roll over in his grave. They gave Barack Obama a Nobel Peace Prize for going around apologizing because the United States had declared war on the world over us being attacked on September 11th, 2001. Over 20 years ago. And should we apologize for that? Hell no, we shouldn't. Hell no, we shouldn't. No more than Israel should apologize for what's happening to them. It's sad, buddy. It's truly sad that there's people that are so stupid that they would ever buy into the bullshit that Palestine and stuff. These queers really think that they would just be all hunky-dory with them, and that they would, why, go to the Middle East and tell them you're a fag and see what happens to you. I tell you what will happen to your ass. They'll find you chopped up somewhere. That's what'll happen to you. They don't put up with that bullshit. That's going to come to a blow about the gays. The gay situation is going to come to a head, and it's going to get bad. They say they want equal rights and stuff. They got them. But they keep pushing more agendas. Now they're out trying to get the kids. People draw the line when it comes to the kids. They'll absolutely draw the line when it comes to kids. These pedophiles and I've often said women are crazy. Women are literally crazy. And I tell you why. That they never think that a queer has their better interest in mind. Why would they have? A woman is everything a queer wants. They want your man. They understand you're the biggest stud ever was, because they can give you, a woman can give a man something that no queer could ever give him. A child. And you honestly don't see that as a threat to women? I mean, in all honesty, you don't see that as a threat. That women should wholeheartedly trust them. That everything they have and they stand for is what a queer wants. It is. It is. And the queers will tell you they don't want another queer, they want a straight man. I mean, really, man, what do you say about it? And I'm honestly, truly, I'm the type of person, I believe in live and let live. I'm a firm believer in that. Because no one's actions are going to count toward my relationship and God. Only my relationship with God, that's going to be what counts for me. So, therefore, I'm not the one doing that stuff. So I don't have to worry about going to hell over it. But you still can't condone it. Because if you condone it, you're saying it's okay. And that it's not wrong. It is wrong. The Bible speaks of how wrong it is. And that how God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for that simple reason was because of the men and women of Sodom and Gomorrah tried to lay with the angels. Yeah. Specifically, they tried to lay with the angels. That God had sent her to get Lot out. And they tried to, they went to Lot and his family telling them to give them the angels. So they would have sex with them. That's true. It is true. That's the Bible. That's exactly what the Bible says about it. But I mean, people like these Methodists. These Methodists, they say it's okay there, you know, that they'll let them into church. They don't expect them to change. We're all sinners, and if we can't admit our sins and change from it, then we're eternally bound to go to hell. Because that's your the deal. You got to admit your sins. You have to accept your you know you have to you have to go to the altar, repent, and mean it wholeheartedly. You can't just go and God knows when you're lying to him. I mean, God knows. That's why I never pray for myself, because God knows what I need. So for me to sit and pray and promise him things that that's a mockery. That I would sit and promise God things knowing that I shouldn't be promising them. I know to do those things. So to sit and pray and say, Lord, please take my cancer from me, I don't ask him. He gave it to me for a purpose. And I accept that wholeheartedly. I accept my fate. I accept, I trust God and his judgments that no matter what, he will see me through this. So I don't feel I need to pray to him when it comes to that. I should pray for others, not myself. That's why I ask for prayer. When I'm sick and I'm not feeling good, I ask for others to pray for me. Because to me that's being petty. I mean, maybe a lot of people don't see it that way or whatever, but I do. And I feel that it's petty of me if I'm asking for others to, if I'm asking God that he knows what I need. He knows where my heart is. And to try to sit and convince him any otherwise is just I don't see it. I truly don't. I feel that that's the one thing I shouldn't be done as praying for things that God knows exactly what I need. He knows how I hurt. He knows when I'm hurting. I don't have to pray and enlighten him to it. He knows it. So it's when you're not being selfish and you're praying for others instead of yourself, that's when you truly have felt peace. Because it's no longer your worries, you worry of others. That's just truly how I feel about that. I would rather pray for others and as to pray for myself, knowing that God already knows what I need, so I don't have to tell him. And it's not like I feel God's forgot about me. Not one bit. Or that I'm not worthy of any of his blessings or his miracles. I feel that God has absolutely blessed me and many a miracle he's given me. So, for that matter, I shouldn't be a burdening God with stuff he already knows. And that's how I feel about that. Because at the end of the day, God knows how. But it never hurts to ask for others in your prayers. Like my friend that died just the other day. That's hurt me deeply. Because seems like everybody I've went to school with or growed up with, they're all passing away. But we have to realize that we're not going to live forever. And that God has a purpose and a plan for us all. And I guess in his case, God's seen it fit to put an end to his suffering. So it's when we get over that point of being selfish and we realize there's a greater power than us, then you'll truly be humbled. My mother used to tell me all the time there wasn't no shame in being humble. And I used to think of it as a weakness. Now I realize that was far from being weak. Is when you can humble yourself and truly humble yourself, you realize that there's nothing God can't do. And that's something we all should realize. And no matter what, God's going to be here for us, whether we want it or not. He loves us that much that he will be here for us. And it's up to us if we accept his path and ways. What, about 80 more thousand on that one? And we got 20 more on this one on base. The base XP here, which if we can put a higher one of those on for that. We got 1,000 of those, we'll just throw one of those on. Alrighty, bros, I'm going to quit this for a bit here. I'm going to watch the morning news and I'll be back.